Okay people, this is himself and welcome to another Tekken 7 Armor King guide. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Blue Spark Upper. This is going to include properties, combos and setups. So Blue Spark Upper is a special move. It's a mid-hitting launcher that's +1 on block, but there's only 3 ways of accessing it. The first is from a key charge. What you do is hit all 4 face buttons and then crash dash 2. The second is from while standing 2. If you get this on count hit, then you can hit up. This activates a key charge and then it's CD2 again. The third is after a punch parry. If you fail, then you can hit 2, and this gives you the same move as while standing 2, so if you get it on count hit, it's exactly the same input. Now because of these awkward inputs, the move is hard to use, but we do have some options. One of them was shown by Armor King TV. What he did is use it after a wall splat. The idea is that you key charge as the opponent is slumping, and once you've done that, you can blue spark. The idea here is that you mix this up with the fire breath. This is an unblockable high and it prompts people to duck. Now personally, I don't like this because it's a mix up and I'd rather get the guaranteed wall combo. There are however other setups out there and they all involve while standing 2. Now one of them is after DB3. On hit, this is +5, so while standing 2 is uninterruptible. The idea behind this is that we mix it up with from crouching DF2. This is a mid-hitting launcher that's +1 on block, so even if it doesn't hit, we can still do stuff like 2-1 or giant swing. The key feature though is that it's slow, so people might try and interrupt it, and it's when they try to do that while standing 2 lands on count hit. An alternative is Knuckle Bomb. Now this comes out slower, but it's more rewarding because the juggles do more damage and it's +2 on block. Another setup is after low jab. Now this is useful because we can use this to interrupt, and the good thing is that it's +6 on hit. Now a variation of this is from crouching 1. There's a few moves out there which are -10 on block, but they force us into crouch, so from crouching 1 is the only punish, and when we do that we're at +6 again, so we can use the same mix up. A third setup is when back turned. Here, low kick 3 or 4 is actually +3 on hit, and most people don't realise this, so when they go to attack, while standing 2 catches them. Now since we have less frames on hit, from catching DF2 might be a bit too slow, so what we can use instead is FF3. This cancels the crouch and it comes out in 18 frames. It's also 0 on block, so if we go into stance, we can use Shadow Step. Speaking of Shadow Step, this is also a setup. The sweep is +5 on hit, so it's exactly the same as DB3, but it's way less risky. There are also other ways to set up this move, and I covered those in another video, so if you want to see that, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Another setup is after Wakeup 3. On hit, this is +5 and people don't realise it, so when they go to attack while standing 2 count hits. Now the obvious way to use this is when you're knocked down, but there are 2 other ways as well. One is after satellite dropkick. On normal hit, this is +17, but on shallow hit, it can be +20, so you have a genuine mix-up between get up 3 and get up 4. The other setup is after Shining Wizard. Here, you can roll forward and then do get up 3. There are also other Oki options, and I covered those in a separate video, so if you want to see that, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Now in the background you can see a collection of combos, but what I really want to talk about is how you'd buff this move, because at the moment landing that while standing 2 on count hit is a bit tricky. Now what I do is change the properties on hit. I do it so that after landing it on a normal hit you can key charge, and this would then give you enough plus frames for a Blue Spark Upper to be uninterruptible. Now what this does is it gives us an interesting 12 frame while standing punisher, but it also gives us a mix up with Flame Breath, because at the moment that move is useless. Now a few weeks back I did do a video covering suggested buffs, and what a lot of people said was that Armor King needs another rage drive, and I agree with them to some extent. So what I do is give him a raw Blue Spark Upper and I make the command up forward 2+3. Now what this does is it gives us an easy mid 14 frame launcher, but what it also does is it buffs his while standing punishment, because you can do an up forward command straight out of crouch, and what this does is it covers his weakness in this area even if it's only in rage. Now the next thing you should do is check out my punch parry video, because that is a setup for War Standing 2, and if you've already seen it, why not check out one of my other videos. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter. There's numerous short clips that I upload that don't get a full video, and you might be missing out on something.